Okay, so once you have your paper all folded and you have all the creases in it and you turn it over and you open it up, you're gonna see all of these sections in it. So now we are going to demonstrate what happens to that rock when we have changes in the North and South Pole. And remember that scientists are not totally sure why this happens. They think it happens because remember that outer core is a liquid, and so changes in the movement of the liquid in the outer core, they think that that can flip where the North and South Pole are, swap it, on Earth. And remember, this doesn't happen, on a daily basis or a yearly basis. This happens over hundreds of thousands, millions of years. So we have already labeled our north and south right at the mid-ocean ridge, okay? So I'm gonna take a red pen and I am going to draw like hash marks. I'm gonna draw lines. And I'm gonna draw them sort of going up towards my north, like that. All right. And you can use whatever color you want. You can use whatever symbol you want. You don't have to draw hash marks, but remember what we do on one side, we have to do on the other side. So I'm gonna draw hash marks again. Okay, so I now have my north and south and my hash marks, my my symbol that I'm using for this particular polarity. Well, now I'm gonna take I'm gonna use my teal, and I'm gonna show what happens when the polarity has changed. So when those poles have changed. So now south is actually at what we're considering the top, and north is at the bottom. And I have to do the same thing. So I'm moving one out from the mid-ocean ridge. And so now this is south and this is north. All right, so now you can see as I'm moving away, I have a north band, and now I have a south band. So I'm gonna take my blue pen, and I'm just gonna draw like a wavy line to show that this is a different polarity. And remember, one of the reasons that scientists know this is because that basalt rock has magnetic properties. So by examining and analyzing the rocks, we can tell what the orientation of the North and South poles were at the time that that rock was created. Alrighty, so now I've got my two distinct bands. And so now we're gonna label, again, we're gonna label north at the top and south at the bottom. And then we'll do the same thing over here. North at the top, south at the bottom. And I've got my red pen. And I'm gonna draw the same sort of like hash line. So whatever symbol you used for those first two bands, you're gonna do the same for this one. Okay. So, and then remember what we do at one side of the mid-ocean ridge, we also need to do at the other side. Alrighty, so good. So now I have an additional like north-south band. And so for the very outside, I'm going to change, the polarity will have changed one more time. So south will be on top, north will be on the bottom, south is on top, north is on the bottom, and I'm gonna take my blue pen again, whatever you used for the last south-north one, you're gonna use for this one. And again, remember, we're not looking for works of art. We're looking for a clear representation. All right, so the last thing that we are gonna label on our representation is where the oldest rock and the newest rock is. So I am gonna take a black pen and I am going to label where the newest rock is. So remember that that crust is being formed at the mid-ocean ridge. So our newest crust, our newest rock is in these first two bands right here. So I'm gonna put newest crust, and I've got it going across those two bands because the age of the rock is the same. Remember, this is symmetrical. So on both sides of the mid-ocean ridge, you have the same thing happening. All right, and so my oldest rock is gonna be at my furthest bands. So the oldest crust in my representation is here in the outside band on the left side, and then here on the outside band on the right side. All right, so now you should have a representation that looks very similar to mine. And what you're gonna do is you are going to take a picture of your origami seafloor spreading. And then when you finish with that, you're gonna upload it to your assignment on Canvas. So one cool thing I will show you is that we can sort of kinda show seafloor spreading, right? So this is folded kind of the wrong way, but if this is where my mid-ocean ridge is, right in the middle, I could show how this kind of goes out like this, and I have the newest crust in the middle and the oldest crust on the outside.